Hello, welcome back to another YouTube video, and if you are watching this video it means that Athlete Week is officially live. As you can probably tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be running you guys through some of my favourite gym fits of the year thus far and some of my favourite Alphalete products point blank period. Now for this video I have tried to keep these to like my most worn and my personal favourites, but I have included a couple honourable mentions. Honestly, if I go through the entire Alphalete website, bar a few products where the quality is just not quite there, I could probably sell each item to a very specific person. So I've tried not to go too far into the honorable mentions because there's honestly a lot of products that I could recommend and this video would be 5 hours long. So I've tried to keep it to my personal top picks, my most worn, and a couple of honorable mentions where I feel necessary, like products that I just feel like, do we even know that these products are sitting on the website because they get severely slept on. So this week is Athlete Week for Alphalete. This is something they started doing last year, and it basically means that my code AMY, A-M-Y, that's all you need to input, will access you to 25% off site-wide through the entirety of this week. At the point of this video going live, it's already started and it's going to end on Monday the 1st of September. So you guys have got a full week, and as always this will count towards my August monthly giveaway. If you are to use my code, please send the screenshots to this email here. You'll be entered into my August monthly giveaway. That is not to encourage you to go and buy something you weren't already going to buy, to be in with the chances of winning a gift voucher or a prize from that giveaway. That's not the purpose of that. It's just for people who are already going to be shopping, already going to be using my code. It's a way for me to be able to give back to some of you every single month on a regular basis, just as a way to say thank you. And if you do use my code ever, but especially during Athlete Week, it really does mean a lot. So please message me on Instagram. First of all, I want to see what you're picking up. Second of all, I personally would love to thank you. It's really important to me that I make sure I'm thanking everyone who messages me on Instagram. So please do reach out to me on Instagram so that I can thank you. And of course, if you've got any questions, sizing, recommendations, questions about products not in this video, please just message me or comment them below and I will absolutely get back to you. It's always a priority to reply to you guys for me, because how are you going to expect people to want to support you when you ignore them? It's a really good opportunity to try any Alphalete pieces, especially ones that are teetering on selling out, that might not last until, for example, Black Friday, a much bigger sale period. A really good opportunity to try those items, and also a really good opportunity if you have a favorite athlete to go and support them if you are in the position to be able to do so, because Alphalete do kind of highlight that, you know, they're looking for us to perform well during this week. However, I do want to say, if the items you're interested in have a lot of stock or they seem to have a lot of sizes available, there is a very high likelihood, and I'm shooting myself in the foot here, but I'm spreading the news, okay? There is a high likelihood that those products will be a higher discount on Black Friday, especially if you are looking for items that have been on the site for a long time. So things like the Elements jacket, some of the old Tenacity pieces, those will definitely be a lot more than 25% off for Black Friday. The newer items, I'm not so sure. I don't think there'll be a huge discount on those anyway. I think it'll be pretty similar savings. But the older items, I do just want to highlight that because it is also quite close to Black Friday. Like, this is going to end in September. Black Friday will roll around in literally 2 months. It's always November time. So just keep that in mind. Another thing to keep in mind, my usual disclaimer, you do not need to buy anything. Just because something is on sale, it doesn't mean that you need to go out and buy anything. Something was £30 and in a sale, it's £20. If you were never going to buy that item anyway, you haven't saved £10. You've just spent 20 because you were never going to buy that item anyway. So always shop mindfully. Just because there's a sale doesn't mean you need to go and buy. And I also feel like sale periods are a big time where people will order a lot of stuff. Like, I know it's not a Black Friday situation here, but for example, with Black Fridays and big sale periods, how many of us go out and buy things in bulk, in mass? We order like 6 tops, 6 bottoms, all these beauty products, all these hair products, everything that's on sale. And in 6 months time, how much of that stuff have we realistically used? Not a right lot of it, to be honest. Make sure that you are shopping mindfully. I'm not saying this in a condescending way. I'm not saying this in a patronizing way. I just feel like with sale periods, there's a lot of pressure. There'll be a lot of like bombardment of posts almost. And I always want to try and offset that as much as I possibly can with these disclaimers. You do not need to use a sale period as an excuse to go and buy like 40 items. You don't need that much stuff, I promise you. Great opportunity opportunity to pick up things that you were already interested in, already had your eye on. Not a good opportunity to be going out and buying things that you weren't even interested in or had never even considered before. I will be leaving some extra resources linked below. You guys know the drill, but if you are new here and you're not familiar with my content, for years I've been making guides where it basically gives you a mini review of every single Alphalete product on the website, but it also does have a page on conscious shopping tips. It was made for the intent of shopping during sale periods, so there's a lot of tips and like things to check. Make sure that you're not just buying shit for the sake of buying shit that you don't actually really want. It does also run you through every single item currently on the Alphalete website with sizing recommendations, notes on fit, notes on quality, notes on pilling, sweat, quality, support for sports bras, rise for bottoms, length for bottoms. It covers everything for every single product. So if you are interested in seeing more than just these products and a quick review on those, that document should, hopefully, fingers crossed, be really, really, really useful to you. So that will be linked below along with some other resources about like different Amplify colorways and all that sort of stuff. Okay guys, this is a top picks video. If you are familiar with my reviews, you will know I can talk a lot and I go very in depth with my reviews. This video, I am going to try and keep it shorter, conciser, and more like a speed run of items. I'll give you like the basics of each piece, but if you want in-depth reviews, I have in-depth reviewed every single Alphalete item ever from the past 6 years on my YouTube channel. But I don't want this video to turn into like a 3-hour thing because I have a lot of pieces that I want to show you guys and share. So I'm going to cover the basics, sizing advice. If you're wanting really in-depth, like I said, I have that document, but you also have an entire library, a plethora of YouTube reviews. And if there's anything where you're like, I'm not sure what drop that was in, but I want to watch the full review on that item, please just comment below or message me on Instagram and I will direct link you the haul that it was featured in and also give you the timestamp for it so that I'm not wasting your precious time. Okay, I will put my measurements here for reference just when it comes to sizing and stuff. You guys might find it helpful to have that as a reference point for like rise or sizing advice. So the first thing that I want to go over is my top 3 seamless picks. Now Alphalete have a couple of different seamless ranges, but these are my personal top 3 favorites. And also, just to clear this up really quickly, you will see leggings feature much more when I go over cut and sew products, because for me personally, I don't wear leggings to training. I just feel like as soon as I put a pair of leggings on, where have my gains gone? I look like I've never stepped foot in a gym before. So I don't train in leggings, I only train in shorts. And when it comes to errands, I much prefer cut and sew fabric because first of all, it tends to be comfier. Second of all, I feel like it looks sleeker. It somehow looks more put together for me. And I also don't always want to be like walking around a city centre or walking around doing a food shop in scrunch bum leggings. If you want to do that, more power to you. But I personally don't always feel the most comfortable in that. I feel more comfortable in something usually a little bit more understated when it comes to running errands, just from like I feel like I get a lot of weird comments when I go out in seamless leggings. And hey, it shouldn't bother me, but men are scary. Okay, all of the options that I'm about to show you do have a legging version, just doesn't make it into my top picks because I don't really use leggings a ton when it comes to seamless. So all of the fabric blends across all 3 are the exact same, but they do have slightly different feels, slightly different fits, slightly different features. So the fabric blend on all of them is 51 polyamide, 38 polyester and 11% elastane. Well, we've got the contour short. These have a 5-inch inseam and these are down on the website as ultra high rise. Rise is always going to depend on how tall you are. Your torso high, so according to Alphalete, these are ultra high. On my body, these are high, so I would say depending how tall you are, these are either going to be high or ultra high, but they do have a lot of stretch to the fabric, which means that you can pull them up a lot more and make them sit significantly higher. But you've got a 3-tier waistband, which moves from less compressive to most compressive at the top, which is Alphalete's like classic seamless waistband. It's on a lot of their seamless pieces. And then you have the Alphalete logo in forever stitching at the back. There's no other branding on contour, it's super plain. And then you just have some subtle detailings around the side. So you have this sort of like hexagonal sort of print. It's like a pixel looking sort of print. And then you have a contour that runs around the side of the glue and slightly under butt, but this is not a compression option. Pump is that option from Alphalete, which I'll get onto. However, what it does have here is this thicker bottom band, which can be a little bit snug, but because it's thicker than other seamless options, it really lifts your glutes. And I know that 5-inch inseam might scare some of you who want it a bit longer, but the magic in these and this band is actually the fact that they are a 5-inch inseam, because where this hits you, it's thicker and it pushes your glutes up a little bit using this bottom band. I don't think that was the intention, I'll be honest, but it works really, really, really well, and these are incredibly flattering. And in terms of the bum scrunch, they range between like 3 and 4 inches, and it also depends on the size, but on a size small, usually 3.5 inches in terms of this butt scrunch space here. So not super long, but it does stretch out over time, and because the fabric is so stretchy, you can really stretch it up, and the scrunch can end up sitting a little high, and it does have that shine to it as well. And in terms of the fabric feel for the leg on these, Contour is very soft, it's very stretchy, it's very pantyhose like, and it tends to be quite a bit on the thinner side as well. This is how it's looking. And when Contour first came out, I absolutely roasted it because the fabric felt really crappy, to be honest, and it pills really, really easily. Like my first day wearing these, the butt went completely fluffy on them. The thing to note with Contour is it has this really soft wash on it to start with. The more you wash it, they stiffen up a little bit. They somehow start to feel a bit thicker as a result, but they also get less soft. So these pilled so badly at the start for me. As I've washed them more, I've worn them more. Particular colorway is sand, and it's, if you know, you know, sand supremacy. It's one of my favorite neutrals that Alphalete have ever done, and as a result, I've worn it a lot, I've washed it a lot. It's not actually pilled back up again, so they do actually get better with age with Contour. But do be aware, if you get the Contour shorts or the leggings, any of the Contour seamless pieces, they are incredibly soft, incredibly fluffy, and incredibly pill prone. So if that's something that's going to bother you, it might not be the best option, because it's not the most durable to start with, but it does get better over time. And at sale price, I do think Contour is worth it personally, but I do think it's definitely on the steep side for such a delicate fabric when it's at full price. Rolling wise, these do roll, but it's not to the point where it's, you know, your bum cheeks are going to be hanging out the bottom of them. Squat proof wise, it depends on the color. My favorite colors are Sand, Grand Central, Skyscraper in terms of like my neutral shades, and then this year they've done some really pretty colors. So they've done Poise, Rose, Canary Yellow, Grove is really pretty. The American website still has a lot of sizes in the old colorways. Sand would be my top pick from the old ones, but yeah, if you can find the Contour shorts, that's definitely a top pick. Be aware these are very compressive. The waist is very compressive on these, so for me in Contour, if I want high compression, I go size small. If I want a comfortable level of compression where I don't feel like my guts are being squeezed, I do a medium. So I'm between sizes for them. If you want high compression, stay true to size for a highly compressive fit, but if you don't want that, you are definitely going to want to size up. And if you're between sizes, I would personally size up in Contour, not down, just because it is a very compressive fit. So yeah, not the most durable of their seamless options, but very, very, very glute flattering. Like I made a bark scale for the different colors for Contour because it just became such a thing how insanely flattering on the glutes these are, and without it being that OTT compression look, they give you a really nice flattering lift without it looking too crazy or being too intense. Okay, next up we have pump short. These are Alphalete's glute compression option if you are into that. I wasn't sure on these at first, but I have been wearing them a lot, and so they are making it into my top pick, especially in certain colorways. My favorite colorways for pump shorts are Ultraviolet. Wheat Orchid is a really beautiful color. If I had to pick a top one, it would be Wheat. This is the nicest neutral color that they have ever done. The waistband on this is the exact same as the Contour one, so it moves from that lower compression to higher compression. Alphalete have these down as a mid-rise. I would say these are mid to high, and especially on shorter torsoed people in stretchier colors like Skyline, it's definitely going to be hitting above high rise on you because it has more stretch to it in certain colorways, but generally pump is a little stiffer, but rise you're looking at mid to high. If you are used to Define Impact, it's higher than that. Again, it's got a 5-inch inseam, and in terms of the details for these, you've got this little A logo on the hip here. These are the same fabric blend as Contour as all the seamless pieces are, but this one actually has more of like a waffle texture in the front of it, so it's thicker, it's denser, it's stiffer. Honestly, when I went back to wearing Contour shorts the other day, they felt like pantyhose. They felt so thin and so stretchy in comparison to pump, so it's definitely a thicker, denser, more textured seamless fabric through the front. Around the side you have a mesh panel which sort of curves towards the front. And then coming into the back on the shorts, you have this huge, very thick butt scrunch, and the measurement wise on that, if you were curious, on a size small, it's about 3 to 4 inches depending on if it's new or if it's been worn and it's stretched out a little bit. This is how the scrunch looks. It's quite a thick scrunch, and then it's got these like transitional pieces either side, and then the scrunch runs right under the butt to about here to give you like that lift from the inside. And then you have a tighter, denser fabric that runs under the glutes here, so you can see where you've got like a butt pocket there, and then this is a tighter, denser fabric to sort of lift the glutes up. So the fabric underneath at the back of the leg is very similar to the front, but the butt portion is like contour or other seamless fabrics. Now colours I would personally avoid because not all colours are made equal, and the stiffer colours have a really stiff butt portion, which means it actually just pancakes you in a weird way. Emerald, acai or Palace Blue, I found that they were all very stiff and they sort of squished the butt cheeks because this fabric over the glute was just so thick and so dense. You do need to be aware there could be some pilling on the bum. I've not actually had my pump pill yet. I've been fine with it so far. These are going to give your glutes a little bit of a step up of a lift from contour because it has that compression. However, you do need to be aware of the fact that it might sit on your glute rather than sitting under. For the shorts with me, it sits on my glute, but I don't think it looks horrific. I do think it needs tweaking and they need more space in the butt pocket portion, but it does sit on my glutes. It doesn't look horrific, but it does give me a little bit of a lift. Just to signpost the leggings, I find my glutes sit in the pocket completely fine. They measure the same. There's no difference other than the fact that on body, for whatever reason, my glutes just sit in the pocket of the leggings a lot better than it does with the shorts. But like I said, I train in shorts, so I'm not a leggings person, so I've not really been reaching for those. In terms of rolling, these do roll, and in terms of the butt scrunch, obviously it is much more on the thicker side and it definitely is more noticeable. I feel like it's not my favorite thing in the world, but I have to stay true to myself with this video, and I have been wearing pump an awful lot. I've worn the pump shorts an awful lot. I would say if you're looking for something that's more understated, you would want to go with contour or revive. I find them most flattering from like a diagonal angle. Straight from the back it can look a bit weird because of the scrunch, but from a diagonal angle and side on, I do find these give me a really nice lift. And in terms of sizing and compression for the pump shorts, I would say you can probably, in most colorways, you can go similar with what you go for contour. So in the shorts I can do small or medium, but I do generally prefer a small. In medium I do get more butt space and the pocket doesn't sit on my glute as much. I don't get as much lift because it's not as tight, so I personally do prefer a size small in pump. I would say in general you're going to want to stay true to size. If between sizes, I would recommend that you size it to your preference with pump. If you want that really tight fit, you can go down. Just be aware it might be a little on the snug side. If you want a more comfortable fit and you're between, you can go up. Okay, last seamless option, and this in my opinion is the most slept on option from Alphalete. So this is the Revive short. Same fabric blend again. In terms of comparing to the pump fabric feel and the contour, it's closer to contour, but it definitely feels stiffer. It's not quite as stretchy nor quite as tight. Like squat proofness wise, it performs so much better than contour colors in similar shades do, and it just feels a little bit denser. It's not as pill prone, and I do find it to be higher quality. My purple did come in a lot softer, but the rest of the Revive colors that I've tried are definitely on the stiffer side. They're more durable and I feel like just more held in terms of the leg fabric. But instead of pump, where it's got that really held in feel because it's really thick, Revive might be a bit more comfortable for you in that sense, because I don't find it to be as thick of a fabric, but it's a smooth, seamless like contour. So details wise for these, they are meant to be a 5-inch inseam, but people seem to get anywhere between 5 to 6 inches. And even when you get a 5-inch inseam, they just seem to sit longer. And in terms of the waistband for these, this is the main difference. It's a lot closer together when it comes to standard Amplify and contour and pump, whereas with Revive you've got bigger gaps. And if I show you, this is the horizontal stretch on a contour waistband. It has a lot of give to it. The Revive waistband is stiffer. It's a lot harder to get on as a result because it just doesn't have that same give. So if you've got glutes, you know, when you're pulling it up over that big bunda of yours, you might feel a little bit like, oh, I'm not sure I'm going to get this on. But then once you do get it on, and it sounds so weird because contour has more stretch than this one does in terms of the horizontal stretch, but I find once you get a Revive waistband on, it's a lot more comfortable. So I would say in terms of compression level for the waist with these, it's more of a moderate compression. Higher compression with Revive is actually through the leg because the fabric feels thicker, and I find this to be Alphalete's comfiest seamless option for me in terms of the waistband. But do be aware, if you have a really small waist, like abnormally small for the rest of your body, you might not love Revive, especially if you've got a bigger lower body and a tiny, I'm not talking about like the normal, I'm talking about big crazy proportions. You might find that the leg feels really tight and you get gaping on the waist. But most people that just have like average proportions, you will probably be fine. But once it's on, I just find it so much more comfortable. In terms of the rise for Revive, this is mid to high rise in my opinion. I think on the website it's down as high rise. On me, it sort of sits mid to high. And then you just have some different details. So I'll pop on the screen side by side so you can see how contour looks compared to Revive. But you have ribbed detailing on the thigh. You've got a thinner bottom band, so you don't get like that same amount of lift in terms of the bottom band pushing up the glutes because it's not quite as thick, but you still do get a decent lift because with Revive they actually built in a mini butt lift. This texture here, it just runs for like the inner, I would say the inner third of the glute portion, and it's just a thicker, denser, more textured fabric that runs here. You can see where it's creating a bit of a pocket. Doesn't go all the way under. So to anyone looking at you, it's not obvious that there's a bit of a butt lift going on, and it doesn't do anything crazy, but I do find that it just gives you a nice little like perk up, and it stops your glutes from almost drooping down, if that makes sense. But it's very subtle, and I wouldn't class this as like a glute compression bottom. You've just got a very similar scrunch to contour, but I find this one to be a little stiffer than contour is. So I actually find that with this, it sits in the glutes a lot better. It doesn't stretch up my lower back as much. And if I had to say which Alphalete bottom is most flattering straight on from the back, I would say Revive. I feel like the Revive scrunch works really well for me. But other than that, the rib detailing and the slight side paneling, they are completely plain, and those are the details for Revive. You might be confused if you've been watching my vlogs or you watch my content or you see me on Instagram a lot, but the only reason why I don't wear Revive more is because of the colours that we got in them. They've only dropped once and we only got 4 colours. I feel like Revive got kneecapped by its colour palette and lack of colour options, because I genuinely believe bottoms, if you gave me every single bottom I've just shown you in the same colour palette, so Revive had 50 of the same colours, Contour had the same 50, Pump had the same 50, I think I would wear Revive the most, because my preference is not to feel like I'm being squeezed to death on the waist, and I just find Revive a lot more comfortable in that sense. And I like how the compression with Revive, it's more sort of in the leg, so I feel like it's lifting my glutes more. A slightly looser waistband, I feel like it almost makes your waist look smaller, even though it's not compressing it as much, because I have like body fat on my body. I'm not completely lean. So when you are built that way and you wear high compression waistbands, yes, they're gonna suck you in, but they can sometimes make you actually look bigger than you are, or make you a little bit uncomfortable, because they will push all that body fat up and over. Whereas with Revive, I feel like because the waistband is stiff, and it's not that it doesn't mold to you, it definitely does, but because it's just more comfortable and more of a moderate compression, you don't get that same bulging that you can get sometimes with Pump and Contour if you store a little bit more fat in the midsection region. So it can actually end up making you look smaller, even though it's not snatching you as much, if that makes sense. I really like Revive for those reasons. Comfier on the waist, and I really like how durable the leg is on Revive. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of the ribbed paneling. It's just not really my thing, but on the shorts, it's not noticeable at all. So I would honestly really recommend the Revive short. And in terms of sizing advice for these, I would say to stay true to size, and if you are between sizes, I would go up, just because if you go down, the leg might be actually really hard to get on, and with the waistband not having that horizontal stretch, especially if you've got bigger hips or bigger glutes, you might actually really struggle to get these on in the first place. So I would say to stay true to size up if between. I wear a size small. Revive does not get enough love. I would love to see them give us more colours in this, because then more people will be more likely to try it, and then they can realise, oh, actually I really like that seamless option from Alphalete. It's so slept on. Contour gets hype, pump gets hype, Revive gets nothing. It gets given dust. Okay, seamless options done. Like I said, they all have leggings, but I'm not a leggings girl in the gym because it's not good for my brain, okay? Makes sense to go over the cut and sew options for bottoms that are my personal favourites. All of these have a legging version if I'm talking about a short. All of the leggings usually have a short version if I'm talking about the leggings. Is the Aura Biker. I just measured and they are indeed a 9-inch inseam. So Aura fabric is Alphalete's lowest compression fabric. This is all day wear. This is high comfort. You can wear it to the gym, but I would say it's more suited to low impact yoga, Pilates, all day wear. Pilates, low impact fabric. Like I said, you can gym in it, but personally I prefer it for other activities. It's a 75 nylon, 25 spandex blend, and in terms of how that feels, it basically just feels like a cushiony, brushed, super soft fabric. It is so stretchy. Pilling wise as well, this can pill and it can catch, and I do find with the thighs on a lot of my Aura, it's rubbed and pilled because of the nature of the fabric. It's got that like brushed cotton sort of feel. I mean, obviously it's not cotton, but it has that brushed fabric feel. This is basically Alphalete's like Lulu Align version of that fabric. It's their version of that basically. I'm not sure how in stock these are on the UK website, but I checked the US site and they still had pretty decent stock for these. These were so slept on. So this is what the waistband looks like. It's just a straight across waistband, but it does dip a little in the middle. It's higher at the side and at the back, and you've got these two diagonal panels here to sort of shape the waist a little bit, and then around the back you have a sort of V seam, but it's not like a dramatic one, and the seam, it's no hidden scrunch or anything like that. It's just a straight glute seam, and in terms of the length for that, it is about 6 inches. So if you are very much shorter in that region, you might find that you don't love Aura, especially with the older pieces. The old Aura leggings and the old Aura bikers and the old Aura shorts all have that same detail at the back. My personal tip for you with Aura, don't try and pull it up your bum crack. When I try and pull this up my bum crack, and I have normal glutes, like I wouldn't say I have long or short, just normal. If I pull this up my bum crack, it looks awful. Seam is halfway up my lower back. I look like a real long batty girl. Like it just doesn't look good. If you keep the vast majority of this seam pulled out of the glutes, yeah, you can get a little bit of separation at the bottom. Keep it pulled out, because Aura is not meant to be worn up the crevice of your crack. Your butthole is not meant to be tasting the glute seam when it comes to Aura. It's meant to be a much more comfortable, much more understated look. Now, if you are someone who wants to hike every single short right up your ass crack, just avoid Aura if you're on like the shorter glute side, because you're not gonna like it. I just wear it pulled out and it's perfectly fine. And then you have this curved detail at the side, so it sort of curves back to shape the glutes. I always get asked if that like makes hip dips look worse. No, it's completely fine. Now, in terms of rolling for these, they're a 9-inch inseam and they're not too tight at the bottom either. So I actually don't get rolling with these, but I do think these look best on me rolled up. So I do manually roll them, and I find that these are so flattering on the glutes for me when I roll them up, and I never see anyone talking about how flattering these are on the glutes. And they are also incredibly comfortable. Like these make your glutes look so, you know, I can just, ooh, very peachy without it being intense. There's no compression, there's no scrunch, it's not doing anything crazy. It just really molds to your glutes, especially when you roll them. It sits in the fold really nicely and it just looks so flattering. Now, in terms of rise, these are high to ultra high. I would say even on me, these are an ultra high rise. Aura is their highest rise option. I feel like these are severely slept on and no one ever talks about them, so I really wanted to include them. They do show sweat. Aura takes a while to dry as well, so do be aware of that. And in terms of sizing for Aura, you can stay true to size. Personally, I size down just to get a bit of better cupping under the glutes when it comes to Aura, but you don't have to size down. It does run true to size. It's just if you want a little bit of a tighter fit, you can size down. But yeah, the Aura 9-inch bikers, severely slept on. Okay, moving on, you've got the Aura leggings, but these are actually the updated version. So any of the colors that dropped in the February birthday sale, this fit applies to. So the fabric is the exact same. The details in general are the exact same. Still that super high rise, you've still got the same waistband. However, the details at the back are different. They did update it, so they actually gave it a much more dramatic V-seam at the back and a much shorter glute seam. So the glute seam on the new Aura pieces is about 5 inches, but it is a lot shorter and you can really see the difference side by side. So thinking the 6-inch will be way too long, go for the newer Aura pieces because they are all like this. And if you're curious about which colours it applies to, just message me or comment and I'll let you know. I have a legging version, which I believe is about a 28-inch inseam, so it's plenty full length. All the same details that I've just gone over with the Aura shorts, so the pilling, the sweat, all that sort of stuff is the exact same. It's just a slightly different fit, and I do find it more flattering on the glutes. The only thing to note with the leggings is I do find that through the day the knee does bag out on these, which does drive me a little bit insane. But if I want a comfortable legging from Alphalete that I can wear all day, high comfort, it's not going to get too tight at any point, it's not going to leave marks on my body, it's just going to be comfortable, this is my go-to legging from Alphalete for that period. I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable, it's my go-to. Rise, it's still that high to ultra high depending on your torso. Yeah, if you are in the market for something that's very like Lululemon Align adjacent at a fraction of the price point with more flattering details, a really good option. And I have Align pants, I do prefer my Auras, so that's saying something. And again, sizing wise, it's the exact same situation as with the shorts. You can stay true to size with Aura, it won't be hanging off you, but because it has that high stretch, you can also size down if you wish to. There are multiple options with that. They do a flare, they do a fold over flare, they do a 5-inch inseam short, they do a capri, they do a legging. There's multiple options there for your preferences, but my top two are the bikers and the leggings. To move on to the Tenacity Everyday Core legging, again, same thing as with Aura, so you do have other options. You've got the Parker, which has like the underwear detail, which isn't really my jam at all. You've got the Everyday Core, which is plain. You've got the legging, you've got a 5-inch inseam short, you've got a biker short, and then you also have the wrap Tenacity. So if you want a cross front waist, they do offer a short and a legging. Not personally my cup of tea, but there's nothing wrong with it. If that's your vibe, definitely go and pick them up because they are really, really nice quality. It's just not my preference to have the cross front waist. I don't really love it on me. What I do love is the Tenacity Everyday Core legging, which I feel like is such an unpopular opinion. I feel like no one else likes these, but I really like them. So in terms of the Tenacity fabric, obviously with Aura, you've got the 75 nylon, 25 spandex blend. Tenacity, you've got 70% nylon, 30% spandex blend. So it's a slightly different blend. And the main difference is Tenacity is higher compression, it's much denser, but it does have a very similar hand feel. I would just say with Tenacity, it tends to feel a bit more like suede as opposed to brushed. That's the best way I can describe it. It's thicker, it's denser, and it's more compressive than Aura basically. It can still pill, so you do need to be mindful of that, but it's not as pill prone as Aura. So the Everyday Core leggings, these are a mid to high rise. Again, it depends on your torso. On me, these are definitely a true mid rise, but it's going to depend on your torso where these sit on you. If you're shorter, it might be high. You have similar details to Aura. It's a little bit shorter in the front as opposed to the back. With this waistband, it does dip in the front, but it's not excessive. It doesn't look like it's saying, hey guys, here's my vagina. It's just a nice little dip detailing in the front. These are about, I believe these are a 27.5-inch inseam. Again, plenty long enough, no issues there. You have a curved detail down the side of the legs, same as Aura. This one just sits slightly further forward. Aura is a bit more exaggerated back. This one is a little bit more further forward. And then at the back, you just have this sort of, it's not like a curved V-seam, it's more of like a straight V-seam, and then you have Alphalete's hidden scrunch. So I did get a message the other week from someone saying, when are Alphalete going to do a hidden scrunch? And she was shocked when I said that they'd already done it. So I think people missed it, but if you want hidden scrunch, all the Tenacity pieces, other than the flares, I'm pretty sure, all the Tenacity pieces have the hidden scrunch detail on, which is about 4 to 4.5 inch in terms of the length of that, and I find it to be really flattering. So with a hidden scrunch, you do feel it a bit more like it's a much thicker glute seam than Aura, for example, and you definitely do feel a bit of tension in the nether regions, but it's nothing crazy. I do find it also does make camel toe a little bit worse as well, just to mention that, but it basically gives you glute separation without it looking like a scrunch. On body, it doesn't look like a scrunch, it's much more understated, and I find because of where these sit on the glutes, it just flatters them a little bit more than Aura for me. Now the thing with the Everyday Core legging is they do run on the snug side wide. And when I first put these on, I was like, I should have got a medium, like what have I done? But the more I wore them, tenacity does really mold to you. And what I love about these as opposed to Aura is, first of all, I live in the UK, so they're actually a bit warmer, they're a bit thicker. So now that we're heading into winter, if you live in a colder environment, the everyday core leggings are fantastic for walk during the winter. But if you live in a hotter environment, might be too warm for you. They mold to you, and as you wear them throughout the day, they don't bag out on the knee like Aura does, which is something that I personally really appreciate. But I have had feedback from people who bought them and they said they just felt pancaked in them. I did say to them to, you know, give it a bit of time, see if it molds to you. Some people did and they found that to be successful. Some people just didn't like them and returned them. So they definitely seem to be like Marmite. In terms of sizing, I stay true to size in the everyday core, but a lot of people do size up, and I would strongly advise, if you've got really thick thighs, I would definitely recommend that you take a size up in them, just because they are really tight on the thighs. So if you've got particularly thick thigh, it might be really, really, really awkward to get on if you don't take a size up. So for those people, I would say take a size up. If you're between sizes, you're probably also going to want to take a size up. But for me personally, for like a compressive fit that molds to me eventually, I like a size small in these, and I really, really like them. Perfect for the winter, perfect for running errands, and they just look really slick and really put together. And yeah, favorite color is black. Okay, I now want to go over some bra options and top options. So we're going to start with seamless. We're going to go range by range like we did with the bottoms. First option up, and this is a really old colorway because I can't find them in any of the new colorways. Don't be like put off by the fact that this is like quite a boring looking green. This is the noble green color. Poise, so they've got it in really pretty pink colors. All the colors that dropped with the birthday sale, so I'm pretty sure they've got it in Grove, Steel, but they also have really good stock in these on some of the websites in the older, more neutral shades that have dropped before. I feel like no one talks about the contour bra anymore, and again, just like the contour shorts, when this dropped I was like, okay. I've come to realise it's one of the only seamless bras from Alphalete that I actually like. Like, yeah, it's basic as fuck, but especially at sale price, it's actually a really good thing to pick up. So it's super plain, super plain. It does have quite a low scooping neckline. It's a very booby bra. Now, it's not like a teeny weeny teeny bra. It does still have a decent-ish amount of coverage, but if you're naturally very blessed, I just feel like at this point in time, Alphalete is not the brand for you in terms of bras, which is really shit to say, to be honest, but they're just not accommodating for that demographic. They're meant to have some coming up, but we shall see. But yeah, I would say this is definitely more suited to smaller chests, moderate chests, and then implants is basically Alphalete's customer base when it comes to bras. It's got the same fabric as the contour, so that 51 polyamide, 38% polyester, 11% elastane, so it's that smooth fabric, so be careful with bags and stuff because it can pill over the shoulder. But yeah, you've just got that scooping neckline. You've got this sort of like ribbed contour detailing under bust. Comes with padding, but I personally always take the padding out. And then at the back, you've just got a keyhole racer back with a sticker logo. All of mine are still intact, but I have seen a lot of people saying that theirs have peeled off, so that's something to be aware of. And to be honest, this is such a basic bra, it's not something I would personally recommend spending full price on, but it always makes it into my sales top picks because it's just a really nice, comfortable bra. In terms of support, low. In terms of coverage, low, but it stays in place well when you're moving your arms. It's fine for weight training, it's fine for light cardio. Only seamless bras that's comfortable to wear all day. It's a very, very, very comfortable fuss-free bra, which is what I like about it. Come to realize a lot of Alphalete seamless bras are just not that fuss-free and not that practical. Looks good as well. It's not like it's a hideous thing to look at. It's comfortable and it looks cute. Now, in terms of sizing for these, I personally do size down to an extra small in them now. Originally, I didn't, and the one that I'm showing you in this video is a size small. I can do both. I find that with the size small, it bags out around the armpit through the day, so I did end up sizing down to an extra small and much preferring it. You can stay true to size in the bra because the size small fits me fine, but for smaller chests and if you're between, I would definitely recommend that you size down. Not the most practical for bigger busts, but hey, that's not Alphalete's speciality at this point. Okay, second seamless bra option is the Sandy bra, which does have a problem, so I'm going to highlight this straight away. This came in running an entire size small across the board, every color small, so you must size up in this bra, and even then it runs on the snug side, so I'm just going to go over sizing straight away. I wear a medium in this because a medium is a small, because they all came in running a size small, but even in the medium it's still definitely on the snug side. So if you want a snug compressive fitting bra, then go up one size, but if you want a bit more comfort, you store a lot more fat around your back, you just feel like you don't want that like compressive sports bra, go up 2 sizes, because that will technically be a size up from your actual true to size, if that makes sense. But yeah, this is the Sandy bra, so it does come with padding, which I remove. It's a very minimal bra. You've got this ruched detailing in the middle. You've got the A logo here, which I don't love, but it hasn't been bothering me as much as I thought it was going to when I've been wearing these items. And then you just have a very like low scooping neckline, which is I think because of how tight this is, it really gives you a lift. It really lifts your boobs. It's like a boob job in a bra. And if you are after that thicker seamless bra style from Alphalete, this is definitely the best option that they have. And then in terms of how the back looks, it's just straight across like this, and the straps are actually, yes, adjustable, so they have these adjusters, but you can also swap the placement. So you can either wear it cross back and cross the straps over like so, or you can wear them straight over shoulder. I would strongly advise you wear them crossed. First of all, you get a lot more lift in the boob region. Second of all, the straps do twist and fall off when you wear them straight over the shoulder, so crossed, it's just more secure, it looks cuter, and it's less faffy. In terms of support for this bra, I would say it's low to medium. It's definitely the most supportive seamless bra that Alphalete have. It's really cute, it looks really nice on. Obviously they had the major issues with the sizing for these, so do be aware of that, like I've just mentioned. And in terms of the fabric, it's the same fabric blend again, but with this one you've got the soft Amplify fabric feel in the front, like the contour, but then around the back you've got this like thicker, the more like waffle dense fabric that you have in the front of pump. So you have different textures on this bra as well. There are a couple things other than sizing, which is just the adjusters are really stiff on this bra. Like they're quite hard to maneuver. Because the straps are so thick, if you need all the length, you end up with this massive knot of fabric, which I don't love, and it does dig into the back. But I'll be honest, it's not stopped me from wearing it, and it's still, if this was like perfected with the adjusters, not getting the bulkiness in the back, and the sizing was fixed and without the logo, this would probably be one of my favorite bras that Alphalete has. I think it would be such a good core bra from them. But I just want to let you guys know that there are some slight faults with it. Really good on the chest, and I actually feel like I get a decent amount of support as well. So yeah, this is the Sandy bra, and like I said, size up 1 size because it comes in an entire size small. If you are someone who's conscious of things not being too tight around the back, you might want to go up 2 sizes to get a size up from your actual size. Okay, final seamless top option, we've got the glass tank. You also have the ice tanks, which were a little bit faulty, but I did really like them, but they're pretty much sold out in most colors, in most sizes, so I've just gone with the glass tank instead. Plus it is a more well-rounded product, like it works for a lot more people, but if you can find an ice tank, they do work for bigger chests. So this is basically a super basic seamless tank. It's sort of like hip length. I wouldn't say it's like a full length, but it definitely hits around the hip point. It's like a high hip sort of fitting top. It's just a like square sort of neckline, racer back at the back, super basic details basically. You do have some contouring along the sides of the waist. It's single line, so there's no built-in bra or anything like that. You do need to wear bras with it. The racer back isn't like the thickest in the world, but I personally like wearing these with the Aura strapping. You do see the straps from the side, but I don't think it looks bad. I think it looks quite cute, to be honest. I also really like wearing it with any halter bra that Alphalete have done, like the Amplify halter bras. If the minimal bra that they just dropped worked for you, it doesn't for me, but if it does, that would also be a good bra to wear. Fabric wise, it's the exact same seamless fabric blend. Again, it's a smooth seamless fabric, so you do need to be mindful with pilling and stuff. These are just such a good layering basic. I feel like, again, it's a product that's not like all the bells and whistles, so it almost gets slept on. It is a really nice product. I do wish that they would offer it in like a much longer length for taller people, but the length of this isn't bad by any means. It's probably one of the longest tops that Alphalete has. Other than that, I really have no notes. It's a really nice layering piece. Sizing wise, you can stay true to size, but if you want it to be more snatching, definitely go with a size down. They don't run big or anything. I can do small or extra small. It's just I get a little bit more in a size down, so you can size it however you would want it to fit. And again, you've got some really cute colors in these because they did it in poise, lace. I don't know if they did do a Grove one, but it got some fun colors earlier in the year. Definitely check out the glass tank. Okay, moving on, we've got cut and sew sports bra options, which I'm just going to run through quick because obviously I've already gone over the fabrics for Aura and Tenacity, so the fabrics are the same for the bras. I'm just going to run you through the details. Now, one bra that I do not wear a lot, I will be honest, I do not wear this bra a lot. not. This is more of a honourable mention because obviously I've mentioned a lot about how bras are not really that suited to bigger chests, but if you do have a bigger bust, the KDM zips are pretty good, honestly, if you've got a bigger bust. But also the Celeste bra, if you are someone who has a bigger bust but you are wanting an option that's not like high neck or fully covered, because hello, people that have boobs, it doesn't mean that they want a high neck sports bra. Hello, people with bigger chests who actually like having a bit of cleavage out do exist. It just means they want a bra that actually covers their tits. And the Celeste bra is a really good option for that. They do it in an A, B and a CD version, but I got both and there was no difference between the two. I don't know if I got a dud batch, but obviously if you got CD, you would get the CD version, but I just didn't notice a difference between the two. It does come with padding, all the Tenacity bras do, but I always take them out. It has this deep V at the front here basically, which I feel like off body this looks really bulky and really unflattering, but once it's on your body, it's honestly really flattering. Got a deep V at the front, and then it has a thicker band around the bottom, which I just feel like lifts a little bit more and gives you a little bit more support. And then around the back you have this sort of keyhole cut out and the straps just go straight over. I don't love the back of this, which is why I don't wear it a ton, but I think this is a really nice quality feeling bra. The support on it is definitely on the more moderate side. I would say it's a medium supportive bra. Anyone basically who's wanting something a bit more longer line with a little bit more coverage but still flattering and gives you a bit of cleavage, the Celeste bra is a really good option, and it's not something I see people talking about a lot. Again, this is the Tenacity fabric, so it has that sort of suede almost feel. It's really nice on the skin. Just be aware it is a bit more like densely woven, so sizing wise, stay true to size for like a tight fit. With the Celeste bra, if you're between sizes, you're going to want to go a size up. And also if you really don't want a tight fitting sports bra, I would recommend that you go a size up, especially if you've got a bigger bust. For me, size small is completely fine. I don't wear it a ton, just being completely transparent, but I feel like it's really worth mentioning because quality wise, it's really nice quality and it's just a better option for people who need a little bit more coverage and maybe a little bit more support. Okay, next up we've got the Lena bra. This is another Tenacity bra. This is probably one of my favorite sports bras from Alphalete, point blank period. This one is so cute. So you've got these straight over straps at the top, which are definitely on the shorter side, so just be aware of that if you have like a really long torso, or like the gap between your shoulder and your bust is quite long. Just be aware the straps are quite short on it. Comes with padding. I take the padding out. You have these darts at the side, which a lot of the Tenacity bras have. I just wish that they'd stop doing them because it doesn't add anything to the bra for me. It doesn't help with the shaping. All it does as someone who takes padding out is they don't line up properly, and then I end up with this weird triangle on the side of my boob. So I do wish they'd stop doing that. But whilst this is a minimal bra, it still has a decent amount of coverage, and then it curves under bust, which I just think is so flattering. I want all of the bras that curve under bust. I feel like any bra that curves under bust is like an instant win for me. The Sandy bra curves, this one curves, the Aura strappy that I'm about to show you in a second curves. I feel like it's really flattering for your abs and just really flattering for your bust in general. So yeah, double layered in the front, and then in the back it has this adjuster, which basically you can either wear it like this or you can pull them to the side and wear it more straight over. Now the one thing to be aware of is when you pull it to the side, you will then get like a bulk of fabric here, which can be annoying, and it does also make the bra fit looser. So I would recommend that you wear them in the middle for it to fit best, because it does feel a little loose when you pull them into the middle. Originally, because this sort of creates like an upward triangle in the back due to the design, I thought I wasn't going to like it much because it kind of looks like it's hiking, even though it's not. That's just how it's designed. But I've actually ended up wearing this, probably one of my most worn bras from Alphalete this year in terms of new product. In terms of branding as well, it does have the tonal A, but it's super tiny on this and you can't really see it. Lena bra has some of the best colour options if you are a colours girl, so I would highly recommend checking them out. I wear a size small. I think these fit true to size, if not a little on the big side. So I would say generally stay true to size. If you're between sizes, definitely go with a size down instead of going with a size up, unless you have a really big bust, in which case go a size up, because otherwise coverage wise it's just going to be a nightmare. But this is definitely most suited to small chest, moderate chest and implants. That's who this is going to be most suitable for. Okay, final Tenacity bra, and another Tenacity bra that I just feel like doesn't get enough love. This is the core bra, and it's very boring, it's very basic, it's very plain. It's a really nice bra, and if you like Tri bra from Alphalete from years ago, very similar to this. So it's just a very basic minimal-ish sports bra, but it does give you a lot more coverage than the Lena or the strappy, which I'm about to show you. Scoop sort of neckline, super thin straps, which I actually really like because I just find it a lot more flattering as opposed to a thicker one. It does come with padding. I take the padding out. Then you have a stiffer bottom band around the bottom. So this is one of the only bras I've been doing that actually has a proper bottom band. The Lena doesn't have it, the Aura strappy doesn't have it, so it does make you feel a little bit more held in. And at the back it just comes into a crossover style with adjustable straps, and it's very open around the back with a tonal wolf logo just there. So in terms of coverage for this, it's definitely still like low, I would say low to medium, but it's more than most bras, and this is one of the better bras for bigger busts that Alphalete have done this year in my experience. Now if you are very naturally blessed, I've seen this on girls who are that way and it doesn't work for them, but if you have like moderately sized big-ish boobs, it is one of the better bras that they have done this year. Definitely more suited to moderate chests, implants, rather than small chests or really well endowed chests. In terms of support, it's definitely a low support bra. I don't find that I get a ton of support in this bra, but I do find I get enough coverage, and it gives you a more covered option while still being cute at the back. The back of bras is what I struggle with the most with a higher coverage bra, because they're just so ugly from the back, but this one is really cute from the back. Sizing wise for these, I do find they run a little big on that bottom band, like a tiny little bit big. So I wear a size small and it's fine, it fits me really well, but if you are between sizes, I would highly recommend that you size down, and if you are someone who has quite a narrow under bust as well, you might want to size down in the bra. But for me, a size small is fine. I feel like if I did an extra small, it'd just be way too tight over bust. So tenacity fabric feels really nice on the skin, and yeah, a very slept on bra. I feel like this got no hype. It got a bit of hype and then no one's spoken about it since. Guys, the core bra is really nice. Okay, moving on, the final bra that I want to speak to you guys about is the Aura strappy bra. So again, we're switching gears again. We're going back to that 75 nylon, 25 spandex. Aura bras just have a bit more give to them. They're a little bit stretchier. This is my favorite Alphalete bra of all time. It's my most worn Alphalete bra of all time. It's one of the only products from Alphalete where I give away a lot of my stuff. I do have this bra still in most colors because I just love it so much. So you've got a really nice, gorgeous scooping neckline. It's quite busty. There's something about this bra, it just does something to my chest. It's so flattering, and every time I wear this on Instagram stories, people are like, respectfully, I'm looking. It's a really flattering bra. Comes with padding. I take the padding out. You do have two tiny little darts under bust on this one. The Alphalete logo is either block or it's script like this, but it's all tonal. And then at the back, so you've got two diagonal straps that cross over, and then you've got some adjustable straps here which are super thin and they have a lot of give to them. So I don't find with the Aura strappy I get trap discomfort or anything like that. It's honestly a really comfortable bra. It's very minimal coverage. This is one of the smallest bras that they do. So with that being said, more suited to small chest, moderate chest and implants. If you've got a naturally big bust, just forget it. It's not going to work for you, I don't think. Support on this is low, and in terms of sizing, I would say to stay true to size. If between sizes, I would probably go up, just because otherwise the bottom bit might be a bit tight and it might start digging into body fat and stuff, and it just, again, for coverage as well, you'd probably be wiser going up as opposed to down. It does move around a bit with movement and like lifting arms and stuff, but it's nothing crazy. It's not to the point where I feel uncomfortable in it. I wear this probably like 3 times a week minimum, if not every single gym session some week. It's super comfortable, super easy to layer because it's so small, so it doesn't look bulky under tops that you put over it. So comfortable. I can wear it all day with no discomfort. Perfect for weight training. Definitely a low support bra. But if you were only going to pick up one sports bra from Alphalete this week and you are a suitable candidate, get the Aura strappy, because it's, I promise you, it will become a favorite for you. You will wear the shit out of it and you might not even want another sports bra from Alphalete again. It is my favorite bra that they do. It just works so well for me and it looks good at the same time. I wear a size small in this for reference and I find that to be completely fine. I can do a medium, but it gets a little bit baggy for me on the underbust, which is where I measure a little bit narrower. I personally stay true to size. Size small fits me perfectly. Love it. Okay, moving on, we've got a Tenacity one piece. Now, Alphalete, I've got many one pieces on the website, all of which are usually a crime to my physique, to my body. They make me look like a linebacker or a little boy. Both options are not options that I personally am going for when I'm picking out an outfit. However, a couple of months ago, they did drop the leaner bodysuit. So it's in the Tenacity fabric. So it's that 70-30, a bit more suede feeling, more dense fabric. So this is the leaner bodysuit. It has a 5-inch inseam. It's super plain in the front, and then at the back it's got the same details as the leaner sports bra that I showed you, so you can either wear it together or pull to the side. Now, you do have the same issues with this as the leaner bra, where if you wear it pulled to the side, the chest doesn't fit quite right. So I would highly recommend that you wear them pulled into the middle, like so. I also just think it's more flattering on the back when you wear them pulled to the middle, like so. And then it comes into, it's like a V cut, but it's not a deep V. It's way above where your butt crack is, so you don't need to be shy about anything being out. And then you do also have the Tenacity hidden scrunch with a little bit of a V seam here, 5-inch inseam, and it is very short, but it's completely fine. For me, I would say any shorter and I probably wouldn't be able to wear it. But the length on this is actually okay for me, and I don't find I end up with my butt cheeks out. So for me, it works okay, but it does roll. Do be aware of that. So it's really thick up top. Do be aware of that if you live in a hotter climate. I don't think any of the one pieces will be your favorite because they're double layered and very thick, especially with it being that Tenacity fabric. Double layered in the front here. It does come with padding. It's not even a shelf liner, but it does have like a band of support under bust built in. It's double lined all through here until you get to the waistband, which is like a low curve basically. Little A logo here, but from a distance you can't see it. And those are pretty much the details. So like I said, it does roll. It is on the short side, but it's not to the point where it's unwearable for me. I personally do still like wearing it. I wore it quite a bit on holiday, and when it's been hot through summer, I've worn it for a lot of walk. I find it very comfortable. I do think the chest sits a little wide on it in terms of sizing. It's a little big over bust and it's a little big in the waist, but it's not to the point where I like straight up won't wear it. And if you are on the longer torso side, I would say it's pretty long torso friendly. Just be aware that the straps are quite short, so I do find it does dig in over my trap after about 3 hours of wear, but I can still get a good few hours out of it without any discomfort. Now, sizing wise for this, I tried a small and a medium because usually in Tenacity I'm between sizes, or I might need a medium because it fits so tight, but these definitely run a lot more true to size, if not a little on the big side. So for me, I prefer a size small. I definitely would prefer it to feel more snatching, but for a comfortable errands fit, for a comfortable one piece that I can wear on a walk and not feel there's anything too tight on me, a size small is perfect. I think if I'd have got an extra small, it just would have been way too tight over the straps. I think adding a little bit of extra length here would fix it for a lot of people because they'd then be able to go a size down. For most average people, it's going to fit pretty true to size for a comfortable fit. It's just not going to be the most snatching thing in the world, but it's a really nice bodysuit, and the people that have bought it, a couple girlies who said they picked it up and they all really like it. So the leaner bodysuit is something I personally, if you're wanting any of the bodysuits from Alphalete, this is my absolute #1 top pick for that. Okay, next up, the baby tees. I feel like we already knew this one was coming. My favorite baby tee styles, because they have 3 now. They've got the icon. I don't like that one. I don't like the A being central and it's never tonal. They've got the varsity one, which I actually really like. I don't like big branding, but I don't mind a cute graphic. Like, to me, this isn't branding, it's a graphic, and it's in that varsity style, which I think the tracksuits, sweatsuits, like chill stuff, I think it's a really cute graphic style basically. And then they just have the Alphalete core ones, which just say Alphalete and it's all tonal. Those or this design would be my top pick. 94% cotton, 6% elastane, so it's basically just a like cold to touch stretchy t-shirt fabric. They have a cap sleeve detailing, so it's not like a true short sleeve, and it's got the sort of princess seam detail here, which I find really flattering. And in terms of the length, it's not a full length, it's like a long crop, it's a meet and greet. Basically with any of the bottoms I've showed you, it will just about on my torso meet the top of the waistband. On contour it covers it, on pump it just about meets it, but if you're on the shorter side, it will be fine with any of the Alphalete bottoms for a full coverage look, but you can obviously wear it cropped, you can roll it up, you can wear it as a bolero. There are many ways that you can wear these. They don't shrink in the wash, which is amazing. They do show sweat, and I do find with this fabric, some people will say that you should wash things immediately after wearing them anyway, but I know plenty of people who would wear a t-shirt twice before washing it. You can't do that with these because any hint of BO, like any hint of BO, any hint of stank, okay, and these t-shirts cling to it, like it clings to the shirt so bad. You need to wash it as soon as you've got a smell on it. That's the only thing. In terms of shrinking, like I said, it doesn't. It just goes back to its original form. So what you might find is through the day it might bag out a bit, like if you pull on it or you stretch it, it might bag out a bit and get a bit loose, but then as soon as you wash it, it snaps back into shape. I've had no issue with any of them. None of my logos have peeled off, none of my logos have gone funky, and it's one of my most worn pieces from Alphalete. You are only going to get like a couple of pieces this week. Get a baby tee. It's such a boring piece, but it's such a staple. There's no issues with it. So sizing wise, I size down in these to an extra small to get a body fit. You can stay true to size, you just might get a bit of excess fabric in it. So if you're wanting that like snatched fit, do go a size down, but you don't have to. You can stay true to size. If you wanted it looser, you could even size up. But yeah, the baby tee is probably my top pick in terms of like a top option from Alphalete. These are top pick / honorable mentions because again, I just feel like I never see anyone talking about these. So this is the LBD crop t-shirt, which I really like the branding on this. I feel like no one ever spoke about these to the point where I sometimes forget that they drop. Now, in terms of the fabric on this, let me check because I can't remember this one off the top of my head. The fabric on this is cotton 48, modal 48 and 4% elastic. In comparison to the baby tee, that's like a completely solid t-shirt. It's not sheer, it's not thick, but it's on the thicker side. These are like super thin, super stretchy, super sheer, super soft. So if you are in the market for a top that is really lightweight, like lighter than the baby tees, these are more cropped, but they are such a good option. They're really soft on the skin. This is the softest on the skin women's top that Alphalete has. It's a shame that they only did them in like crops and stuff because there's no long line options, but they honestly are really, really nice. And I love these in the summer because they are so thin. They're a lot more breathable than the baby tees. I would still choose the baby tees over these, but I think they're worth mentioning. And yeah, they did them in a plain option and then they brought them back in this option. Me personally, I do size down in these to an extra small just because they're so stretchy. I can get away with it and I like how it fits. So you can stay true to size for like a normal fit or size down if you want it really body fit, but these are so cute and so slept on. And I feel like maybe this week it might not get you like the fattest discount, but Black Friday I feel like these are going to be dirt cheap, guys. So maybe write this one down for Black Friday. And I don't even love a crop top, but what I will do with these is I will crop them even more and just wear it as basically like a short sleeved sports bra. Even though I don't love a crop top and I've been banging on about having more full length options, I do really like this. And then in a very similar style but a slightly different fabric, so this is 50 cotton 50 polyester, so it's not quite as soft but it's still very thin. Like, I don't know if you guys can see how thin it is. It's a very thin racer tank, and these ones also have the LDB branding. Depending which one you get, it's either this or Alphalete, but I do prefer these ones. And this is basically a flowy racer tank crop. I like to wear these in a very specific way, and last summer, this summer not so much, but just because we had so much new product dropping, I was needing to wear it a lot more. But last summer and towards the start of this year, I wore these so much, and I'll show you how I wear them. I basically will tuck them into an Aura strappy bra so that I get like basically a tight racer tank top that curves under bust. I would love if Alphalete just made like a fitted ribbed tank top in that style because I think it would be so fucking cute. But that's what I like wearing these for. And again, so cheap on Black Friday. It's definitely worth picking them up if you like that style. And again, if you want to wear it out and wear it flowy, you can, but I just don't really love how that looks. So that's how I wear them, and that's how they made themselves into my top pick. Otherwise they wouldn't be in a top pick for me because I just wouldn't be using them, to put it bluntly. But yeah, the fabric is, again, it's not quite as soft and stretchy This one almost feels a little like stiffer in comparison, but in terms of sizing for this, I get these in a size small. I would say you can stay true to size or size up. I wouldn't size down in them just because you'll get a weird fit over the bust, especially if you are wanting to wear it floaty. But these tucked into an aura strappy bra, it's so flattering. It makes your abs look so good. And it's just such a nice, like, I don't know, it makes you look like you're more seriously about to train. And especially on an upper body day when you've got a shoulder, when you've got a delt pump, but this, it's so cute, so slept on. I never see anyone talking about this, but yeah, I wore the shit out of these towards the start of this year and last year, and I'm mentioning them again because write it down for Black Friday. These are going to be a steal, I think. Okay, moving on to a piece that dropped in February that I still think is really cute. I was a little disappointed with the basics range just because they were all like a high hip length. None of them were a true full length. And also the fabric, do want to go over that straight away. If you get the basics, I would recommend you get them in the white colour because the other colours have this shine to them that makes them look like a swimming costume. And like the fabric does kind of feel a little bit swimming costume-esque, but you can't see it on the white. So personally, I like the basics line in the white colour. That's it. The black one is really, really, really shiny and I just don't love it. So in terms of the fabric for that basics line, it is 85 nylon, 15% spandex. And it really, guys, it honestly, it feels like a cold to touch. It feels like swim fabric. That's how it feels. This one is the basics long sleeve. Now, I fell in love with this as soon as I put it on with a sports bra because you can see with this top I've got on right now, I'm getting this sort of peekaboo effect. You can get this, but in a long sleeve version because this neckline is so scooped. If you wear it with an aura strappy or any of the halter bras, you're going to get this beautiful like peekaboo effect, which all my design doodles that I was doing in December just for fun, they've not been taken on board. I was just doing it for fun. I was drawing so many layered things like this with like the peekaboo effect, especially with a halter. When I put this on with those sorts of bras, I just think it looks so cute. In terms of the details, single lined arms, single lined back. In the front, it is actually double lined within these like waist parameters. So can you see how you have a seam here? This front bit within that is all double lined, which it does help with sheerness, but the white is still a little sheer. And honestly, I don't love the double layeredness just because it does make the fit a little bit off and you get this like weird bunching at the bottom with the seams. Just if I'm going to be nitpicky, that's how I feel about it. I do kind of wish it was single lined and also a little bit longer. On me, it hits about high hip point and it honestly looks really cute. You can wear it to the gym, but I think Pilates, it looks really cute for running errands. Just a really nice basics top. The quality on it feels really nice. I just wish that they'd done the fabric a little less shiny because the only colour that I love is white because it doesn't have that shine to it. Whereas all the dark colours do, which is annoying. In terms of sweat, it does show sweat, but it does dry pretty quickly. And in terms of sizing, I do size down in this range pretty much across the board. It's not that it runs big, but because of that double layering, it's hard to get it to snatch. So I actually like to size down in these just to make it a little bit more fitted around the waist, but you can stay true to size for like a more comfortable fit. But if you really want to try and snatch it around the midsection, I would definitely recommend that you take a size down. And it's something you could even wear to work. Like it's definitely a multi-purpose piece. Okay, final thing. Now I struggled with this because I wanted to include some sweats, but when I'm trying to be like 100% honest with myself, Alphalete is just not my go-to for sweats right now. They don't do the best like shapes, the best colours. It's always men's, so it's always based off a men's fit. The Origin sweats, the Origin joggers are nice and I would recommend them at sale price, but they're nothing groundbreaking. And I'm pretty sure they're mainly sold out, which is why I've not included them in this video. But when I was going through the hoodies, all my favourite ones I used to love. If you can find the Crest, I do like that hoodie. The Athletic hoodie, I really like. But other than that, generally, I'm just going to go to other brands for sweats. It's just not my top pick. They don't do like the fit, the styles or the colours that I would like to be seeing yet. If you like really lightweight, like run-of-the-mill joggers and hoodies, you won't see an issue with Alphaletes. But I think because I live in the UK and I'm very well versed in my hoodies and my joggers and I have very specific things that I like about the fit, down to zips, down to waistbands, down to how the crotch sits, down to how the hips sit. Because I wear tracksuits so much, it's just, yeah. But if you want a run-of-the-mill tracksuit, you'll probably be fine with the Alphalete Alphalete ones is just not for me. However, when I was going through my wardrobe, I don't wear this a ton. This is probably the most honourable mention of the video. But when I mentioned this in my February review, when they brought Elements back, so many people bought their Elements jacket and messaged me being like, what the fuck, like this is actually so nice and it looks so classy. Like I've been wearing it for my dog walks, going to classes, running errands. Shout out to my Elements lovers because I've decided to include it. So this is the Elements jacket, and this is not really my sort of thing, but I feel like I need to include it as an honourable mention because it's got a lot of stock and it did get really slept on, and the quality of it is perfectly nice. Now the main reason why I don't wear mine a ton is because they didn't put pockets on it, and for me, if I'm going to be wearing this, I wouldn't necessarily want to wear a jacket over it, especially because I feel like I wouldn't necessarily need to. So that's why I've probably not worn it a ton. Sort of like hip length. It's not super cropped, but it does have the bubble drawstring, so you can make it shorter, make it longer. You can sort of size it how you want to. You've got a full zip. It does go into like a turtleneck if you want it to. It's completely plain in the front. I've then just got these very like balloon fit sleeves with this sort of cuff. Alphalete is just embossed down the back, but honestly you can barely see it, and I honestly feel like, especially in the white, it looks so classy. Like it's such a classy looking jacket. Now in terms of the fabric for this, it is 76 rayon, 14 nylon, 10 spandex. It feels like a spongy scuba fabric that is so soft. Like this fabric feels really luxe and really high quality, which is another reason why I wanted to include it, because you know, if there is a quality issue with an Alphalete piece, I'll let you guys know. The quality of this fabric, it has like a really nice bouncy scuba soft feel to it. It really reminds me of sort of like the Lulu scuba jacket sort of feel, but honestly nicer because it doesn't have that shine. It's very matte in terms of its appearance. Yeah, I honestly feel like if you are someone who has that more like classy vibe, you're not bothered about the pockets, and you're looking for like a moderate weight jacket to wear out and about for errands, I think you might actually really like this. And there's no like difference in texture, so the texture on the outside is the exact same as the inside, so you're not going to get any molting over your clothes. You're not going to have any of those issues that you usually get with hoodies. And yeah, no one ever talks about it, but honestly the quality on it is really nice. It's very comfortable. It feels very luxe on the skin. In terms of sizing, I got this in a medium. You can stay true to size, but I like things more oversized, so I do size up for a more oversized fit. The men's stuff has weird cuffs. The women's one, however, is really nice, and if it's your thing, I really do actually recommend it. It's probably one of the highest quality luxe feeling pieces they have on the website right now. Okay, so that is all of my favorites gone over. I really hope that you guys have found this video useful. If you would like me to do another one before Black Friday, let me know and I will get one filmed, even though there probably won't be a huge difference between then and now. But if you've got any questions about sizing, help for the pieces I've mentioned, questions about other things on the website, comment them below or message me on Instagram and I will get back to you. As always, if you do choose to shop my code either this week or any week, thank you so much in advance. It basically keeps me in a job with Alphalete. It lets them know you want me to keep doing these reviews, you find my content helpful, you support me with them basically, and it basically lets them know you guys want me to stay with the brand. So yeah, I would massively appreciate if you could use my code, but again, no pressure to shop whatsoever. But if you do use it, please message me on Instagram so that I can personally thank you. You guys are the sole reason why I'm in this job, and like there is no Athlete Week for me without you guys. Like you guys are the reason why we have Athlete Week. So I really just want to say I appreciate you all so much. And I know that someone's gonna ask me this, so if I had to whittle it down to like a top 3, I would definitely say an Aura strappy bra, a baby tee, one of the seamless short options, depending which is most suitable for you. I want to say Revive, but we don't have great colors in it, so I think right now I would probably say if I had to pick, probably go Contour. And I do, but I like them all. I do like them all, but I would probably go Contour, just thinking about the colours that are available. If you found the video helpful or you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you want to and you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully it's been helpful. Goodbye.